In this video, my already difficult marketplace flip challenge won't let me catch a break. I'm flipping my way to our next project car. But on the last episode, we spent some time getting this outboard motor running and then resealing this lower unit. So today, we're going to try and get this jammed back in, make sure everything still works without puking its guts out, and then we'll try and get this thing moved on so that we can get ourselves one step closer to our next project car. So last time we got the main chunk of the lower unit here taken apart, fresh gaskets and seals, but we still have this part right here, as well as some leftover gaskets and seals and things that we haven't used yet. So I think it'd be silly having the new seals to not try and get them in here. Now I'm gonna work on getting this torn apart, get those fresh seals put in here, and get this thing running again. I will admit that working on this motor kind of gave me some romantic daydream fantasies of having a boat and cruising the river. But at this point, I am ready to kick this thing out the door and be done with it. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. It's always a good idea if you got a bunch of connections that you don't know about, just take a picture. Yeah. And that is certainly not the gasket I was looking for. Well, it appears that this one is stripped. Or actually, ooh, not stripped, sheared off. The sit rep is, I got two fresh gaskets in here, got this top plate, I guess, reinstalled, but the kit did not come with the next gasket here. So I have that ordered. It's going to be here in a few days, unfortunately. The new gasket finally showed up. It's been a long delayed process, but I'm now going to start putting this thing back together because I am ready to see this thing out of the garage. And just about 30 minutes ago, I got a lead on the next stage in this project. So I'm gonna just time lapse this thing, try and get it put back together, hopefully remember where everything went, and keep rolling and just get done. I'm done. I'm ready to be done. I'm tired of it. It's been one little broken part, one missing gasket after the other, waiting 5-6 days for shipping in between. And at this point, I'm over a month into tearing into this motor and I'm just ready for it to be gone. Alright, well that's the top part put back on. Now I just gotta put this lower unit back in and fill her with fluids, and then we'll see if we've sealed everything up and see how she runs. The motor calls for 1030 or 1040. I'm opting for 40. The capacity is 1 quart, 1.1 quart. Spot on. Cool. Well, you're supposed to have a little adapter here, and you fill the oil from the bottom until it comes out the top. If you try and fill it from the top, you can trap air in there, which is no good. So I'm gonna pop these screws back out and just try and jam the pointy nose of this bottle in there and hope it doesn't leak out everywhere. We're just gonna go for it. Go for the jam and squeeze. See if I got lightning hands here. I guess the first thing to watch for is to make sure no oil comes seeping out of the prop shaft seal and all that stuff, because that'll just be an immediate fail. But cool. Let's do it. What you might not get from these next several clips is just how much time I spent trying to get this thing to run happily. Whenever you tear a motor apart and kind of put things back together, things might change as far as the carburetor and the tuning and things like that. So I primed the gas through, pumped any of the old nasty gas that might have been still residual in the lines out like I did the first time, and I never quite got it happy, even as happy as it was the first time I started. What you can see is a nice strong water stream coming out of the side of the motor there, and that's because of the new impeller that we put in the water pump. And the good thing you can't really see is that the water tub is not full of oil. I think this cheap Amazon fuel hose is giving me issues with leaking air into the fuel system, so I have to constantly prime the bulb. It also, as you'll see here, explodes all over me. So here's the sit rep on the motor. I'm still kind of tinkering with it a little bit, but I decided to go ahead and post it for sale as is for now, with the expectation that if I fix more of these things, I'll increase the price. So I actually started the price basically at what I have into this in parts so far. I'm kind of just tired of messing with it, and I figure if I sell it, I at least want to get my money back out of it. So that being said, I do have somebody who's interested in coming to look at it tomorrow, and they said they're willing to pay the asking price, which is like $250 right now, to just get the money back out of it I have in parts. So I had the idea also to scroll through Marketplace for one of my old school flips. I used to do this several years ago. I used to flip these things just to make a little bit of extra money for the month. And I thought, what the heck, I'm doing a flip challenge and I know how to do this. So I got it in the back of the van right now. I picked it up for free, and if I can get it going, might be able to pull an extra 80, 100 bucks or something out of it. So let's check that out. Old direct drive washing machines. They're pretty simple machines. Parts are relatively cheap if you can replace them yourself. And this one's an Amana brand, which is just a Whirlpool brand. But I picked this one up for free. Evidently it makes some noise on the spin cycle. Not the most exciting thing to fix and flip, but they're simple and you can turn a quick 80 or 100 bucks sometimes. So I'm gonna hook this thing up and see what I can get it to do. Well, it's agitating, which is a good sign. But I'm not gonna let it run through a whole cycle. I'm just gonna switch it over to drain and spin. I was actually mistaken. This isn't a direct drive, it's a belt drive. And it's fully suspended, but that's okay. It's not like, doesn't look exceedingly difficult. I'm just gonna pop this back cover back on and tip it over and take a look at this belt, spin the pulleys, see if they're making horrible bearing noise or something. It's not sounding good, but my last ditch effort is to pop the ring off of this tub and see if there's anything stuck inside the liner that might be causing that noise. But at this point, it really is a long shot. Some more sad news. There's nothing stuck inside the sides of the drum here, which means what I thought sounded like bearing noise is in fact bearing noise. And I thought, well, I could replace a bearing. Unfortunately, the bearings are spot welded or riveted inside the transmission case inside this thing. And a replacement transmission case is about 160 bucks. And the going rate for this particular washer on Marketplace right now is like 120. So that's just not feasible. Luckily I didn't spend any money on this thing aside from the gas to drive 20 minutes to go pick it up. And luckily for me, I don't have to pay for disposal because there's some appliance shops nearby that'll take scrap appliances for free. So I guess that's all I'm out for this thing, but it was a good shot. Could have been worth it, but you know, not everything works out. On to the next. All right, boat motor's gone. Only broke even on it, no profit this time. I was tired of looking at it, tired of messing with it. I got, actually maybe not broke even. I think maybe I made about $10, maybe $20 based off of what I had into it in parts. We've got 250 bucks that we can put into something else. Maybe something like this. We'll see on the next episode what this flipping challenge turns into. It's been a bit of a rocky start.